highlighted this for me. That's nice. I know what to talk about. And it's the Border War is awesome. I think it's awesome environment, awesome atmosphere. Moby was rocking tonight, and I thought our guys really fed off that. I thought that sparked the run. I thought Jace's steal right there, I thought that changed the whole game. Once he stole that pass, I thought that was the difference in the game and brought the confidence level and the juice to the arena. And once they called timeout, our guys were ready to roll after that. And I thought it was a big response too in the first half, getting down 9. She was a 9 or 10. When Josh was out, that put us in a little bit of a strain. We hadn't played JoJo and Brandon much together, and you saw we were out of sorts a little bit on offense there. We were out of sorts. And I thought the way we responded after that to finish the half the way that we did, to cut it to 3 to end the half, and then the response of JoJo in the second half to give us the minutes that he did. I know the stats don't show as much as what he did, but I thought he helped us a lot in the second half, and that was the challenge: is how can we respond to the second half? And we specifically talked to JoJo about that. And then Kyle too. I thought Kyle was really big in the second half. I thought he struggled a little bit in the first half, but his response in the second half changed the game also. And we need him in the second half to make those plays. And then obviously Jace was phenomenal tonight. Jace and Rashawn were phenomenal tonight. And I thought our guys stuck to the game plan of attacking the paint. For us to only shoot 13 threes and being a really good three-point shooting team, I thought it was phenomenal. I thought we shot the right threes at the right times, and then I thought we attacked the paint the way that we wanted to. If you're going to switch us all game long, like, we have to attack the paint. Our guys executed it flawlessly in the second half.
In the last 10 minutes, what did you see that kind of like clicked, would you say, after overcoming that 10-point deficit to come out with the win today?
I thought we got tougher. It wasn't a whole lot of game plan stuff. The game plan didn't really change from first half to second half. I thought we really just got tougher to get catches where we wanted the ball, tougher to fight for post positioning, to draw the fouls. I thought we just accepted fronts in the first half, and then the second half, like, we really fought for catches. And I kind of got on them at the 12-minute mark when I think it was down 12, and I just thought the toughness level, I think it was 57-47, and I thought the toughness level of the guys picked up in that moment to really seal to get catches, because they were switching their 6-foot guards on to Rashawn. You got to punish them for that. And I thought our guys did a great job of doing that. Rashawn held his balance, and they did foul us every single time.
I mean, with that toughness, they only made it to the line like 8 times. How do you be tough and not foul in the way that you guys did today?
Yeah, and we talked about that with our guys. They drive the ball well. They have some quick guards, but they're not the best finishing team because they're smaller, right? And I thought Carey blocking as many shots as he did, especially in the first half, really deterred guys from going in there or made them second-guess themselves with those shots in the second half. So his presence down there just adds a little second-guessing to you finishing inside the paint. And then I thought in the last 10 minutes our guys did do a really good job of, we call it wall on wheels, but continue to move their feet and keeping their chest on their bodies to make them finish through us. And I thought we did a really good job of that in the second half.
You were obviously really high on Jace, when you brought him over from Washington, but just where have you seen him grow as a player this year?
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that said no first and then finally said yes. But you just trust Jace. He is Jalen Lake to me, like a lot like Jalen Lake, where you just trust him on the court, you trust him in all those situations to make plays, and he came up with every play tonight. And everyone's sitting on his left hand, and then we ran that drive play to actually go to his right hand the next possession, and he got all the way to the rack and got the finish, which was stretched the lead to 4 then. We've called on Jace multiple times. We've also not called on him, but he's played 30 minutes. And that's the best part about Jace, and that's why he plays, is you know what you're going to get every night from Jace. Whether that's if he's scoring or not scoring, you know what attitude, effort, and how he's going to approach the game is going to be the same every single night out.
Is he playing with a different level of assertiveness right now?
Yeah, and I think sometimes you got to go through it to get confidence, right? It sounds easy, like, hey, just be more confident. But sometimes you have to go through those experiences and feel those moments. And I think he's starting to feel more and more of those moments. And it only happens through experience, right? We can simulate it, we can practice, we can talk about it, we can do some voodoo, whatever. But at some point, like, you have to go through it to get that experience. And that's what's happening for him. It's almost like he's going through his sophomore year right now. Whereas the start of the year was kind of his freshman year still, and he's trying to figure it out. And now he's truly playing like a sophomore borderline, he's like a junior almost now.
Does it feel like this group gets defensive momentum when you do have a stretch where you start playing well? Again, it kind of breeds confidence almost. Like, you almost get some proof of concept defensively, and then they start growing there.
Yeah, no, that was the best part. Is I thought the fight and the energy was there tonight. And that's what we've been talking about, is the focus and the energy levels of how you present yourself on the court. And I thought when we lost the lead in that first half, and I think it was tied on, it was 25-27, 27-27, and they took that 9-point lead, I just thought that we were deflated. The body language was bad. The like, oh, poor me was kind of sinking in for a minute. And then Rashawn really got after the group right then. And the guys responded from that. And I thought that carried the rest of the game from there. But I think and you got to go through that too, right? Sometimes it's like, man, you know you're going to get hit in the face. You're in a rivalry game. How do you respond to that? So they're going to make a run at some point. How do you respond to that run? And I thought we did twice. We responded in the first half. We cut it to 3 at halftime. And then we took the lead in the second half. We obviously responded in the second half.
How big is it, obviously, do that overall, but obviously you lost Josh too, so everything gets kind of changed in how you're having to do it, so a couple of layers to that. I mean, how big is that?
And that's stunned for Josh, because I thought he approached the game the right way to start. That was tough. I thought his mentality was right on point for where it needed to be tonight. He hits that first 3, and then he drove the ball to the basket twice and 2 rebounds. And so I felt for him, and that caught us off guard, but it put us behind the 8 ball a little bit with the rotations too. But I love the fight from this group and how they responded, and then how in the second half, we haven't played JoJo and Brandon much together. And I thought they still executed well. Like we ran a play out of a timeout that we haven't ever run for Brandon, and they executed it flawlessly and got a wide open shot. So it shows me too, these guys are growing in that sense, that we don't have to necessarily just run all these plays in practice. We can come out of timeouts and just mix up some simple situations and have them execute it.
Hey, with
Especially
those,
with Josh, exiting the first half. When you had 5 guys that put up double-digit points, I guess how valuable is that to just know that you have something to fall back on when someone goes down? Yeah,
I think that's what this team's been about, right? And when we're at our best is when we have multiple guys in the scoring column and the assist numbers are high. And they weren't probably as high tonight as what it probably would have been, but when you shoot 25 or 30 from the free throw line, there's some assists that led to those fouls as well that don't show up in the stats sheet. So I think that's what our team has to be. And when we're at our best is when we have 4 to 5 guys in double figures, and that is way harder to guard than just having 2 guys that are scoring all your points. If you got 4 to 5 guys in double digits and all 5 of them can go off for 20 any given night, it's hard to make decisions on what you focus on defensively.
With Curry's 6 blocks, and then you guys also had 13 more defensive rebounds, how do you feel about him and the overall defensive output of the night? Yeah,
I thought it wasn't great in the first half, but in the second half, I thought we really hunkered down, and the toughness picked up. I thought there wasn't a whole lot of X's and O's differences to what we were doing. Our bigs did get up and hard hedge a little bit more. And then they played smaller, and I thought we started picking up the switching. So I guess there was a couple X's and O's. But for the most part, it really was the toughness. I thought we were hitting harder. I thought we were getting through screens better. I thought we were just guarding the ball better. It seems simple, but sometimes basketball isn't much more than that.
What's been the process this season? We're just trying to get Carey to be more of that defensive anchor that obviously you see the flashes on the upside of what he can be for you guys in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, he's still learning. I was telling Adam and then out there, like, he came into college at 17. So, I mean, he's now in today's age, like, I mean, look at half the freshmen in college basketball now. They're 19 and 20 years old. The guy at New Mexico is 23. I don't know how that works. But so, like, Carey came in at 6 years younger than that guy. You know what I mean? So all that, we talk about experience, well, he was down a year and a half already in experience to start his career. Then he goes to Illinois and doesn't get to play, so he's down another year of experience. So like he's still growing and going and getting through it. And I think that's what's exciting for us. I think Carey's getting more excited about it because I think he's starting to see like, okay, there's these small little adjustments I can make because he is highly skilled. And now he's starting to learn how to use his body in certain situations, how to attack people with his body before they attack him. And I think you're starting to see that progression happen night in and night out, but it takes time and patience, and that's what this program's been about, like patience to help kids grow.
You guys were relying on Jevin a lot to kind of initiate the offense earlier in the season. Obviously, Jace kind of coming in the starting lineup has changed that a little bit. What does he offer that's a little bit different that has kind of allowed you guys to initiate the offense in different ways and adjust like you've needed to?
Jason starting off in the starting lineup?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's helped Brandon and Josh get shots. because we've ran more actions for them to get shots when Jevin's out. Then when Jevin comes in, I'm probably giving way too much now, but you watch the film and figure that out. But yeah, we've changed how we kind of operate and what we're looking for with certain lineups in there and how we play with each other. I think Jevin and Kyle are so good together in pick and rolls. It's hard to make a decision on what to do. And then Rashawn's so good at screening people and getting off screens. And I think Josh and Brandon have really found success with Rashawn on the court. Not that Jevin hasn't with Rashawn, but when you look at the numbers, those different lineups have shown to progress more. And we had to play some different ones tonight just because of the foul trouble. And then we played Rashawn and Kyle there for a little bit too and actually looked okay. So it's going to fluctuate night to night, but for the most part, that was the only decision, was that I thought we needed to split the minutes in a different way. Hasn't really changed Jevin's minutes a whole lot, but who he's playing with has changed.
And I mean, last year you saw off the bench, it was guys like Bowen Moore and Ethan Morton who really made a change. What are you seeing from the bench now that gives you confidence? I mean, 3 back-to-back games with 30 points.
Yeah, I think they're starting to trust each other more, but also basically we have 7 starters. I mean, with Rashawn on the bench, he started the last year the whole time basically. So we're bringing basically 2 starters off the bench. So it's not like we have a bench. To me, it's more we have good players that play basketball. I don't know. It's just different. But it is huge when you can bring Jevin off the bench and he's going against a second unit guy, or Rashawn's going against the backup big. It makes it difficult.
How motivated were the guys for this one, especially after how things went in Laramie?
They were motivated. I mean, I think they were motivated just in general. But yeah, they were motivated. There were some things that were said that was kind of disrespectful, and that's up to them. But for us, we're just gonna play basketball and be about us and talk about us, and it's about us more than it is about them.
The guys, continue to talk about playing their best basketball in March. Does it feel like, you're approaching that level now?
Yeah, the biggest thing that they've grown in, I think, is that they're truly buying in to just keep getting better, right? That's the hardest thing with anything in development, is there is no end in sight. And how do you grasp that and not get looking for the right word for that, not get depressed or not get down on the idea that I'm not quite there yet, but just knowing that that's the best part about it, is that you're not quite there yet. And I think they're starting to buy into that more and more and more, is that it's not that anything's wrong. It's just that that's life. How can you keep growing through the struggles and the ups and the downs of what's happening? And I think they're really buying into that more and more, that you want the struggles, you want the ups and the downs, because that's the only way you can grow.
Thanks, Ollie.
All right, thanks, guys.